Trump said, "You have to get rid of the Russia probe," and parroted a Kremlin talking point in a wide-ranging interview.
Here's a summary of the article.
During a wide-ranging interview on CBS Face the Nation, President Donald Trump said, "You have to get rid of the Russia investigation," parroted a Kremlin talking point, downplayed the crimes members of his inner circle pleaded guilty to, and suggested he may object to the release of a final report in the Russia probe. President Donald Trump unleashed his frustration about the Russia investigation and the special counsel Robert Mueller during a wide-ranging interview on CBS Face the Nation that aired Sunday. 34 people have been charged as part of the investigation, which is examining Russia's interference in the 2016 U.S. election and whether the Trump campaign colluded with Moscow. Asked to address the indictments and guilty pleas, Trump replied, "Of the 34 people, many of them were bloggers from Moscow, or they were people that had nothing to do with me, had nothing to do with what they're talking about, or there were people that got caught telling a fib or telling a lie." By calling them bloggers, Trump appeared to be echoing Russian President Vladimir Putin's claim that many of the Russians who were indicted are merely independent hackers who are not aligned with the Kremlin. Cohen, Manafort, Flynn, Gates, and the former Trump campaign aide George Papadopoulos all pleaded guilty to lying to Congress or the FBI, which is a felony, about their Russia contacts or business dealings involving Russia during the election. First of all, Roger Stone didn't work on the campaign, except way at the beginning, long before we're talking about, Trump responded.
This post received a score of 31,517, with an upvote ratio of 77%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Also be careful about the line concerning fibbing or telling a lie. They want to paint these charges as if it's about people making small errors in testimony, etc. The charges concern the willful lying or omission of material facts, i.e., their lies hindered the investigation. For example, Gates lying about knowing Kilimnik and his travel plans, leading to the FBI not being in a position to detain Kilimnik when he passed through the U.S.
Just a felonious fib. Seems he obstructed to benefit the enemies of the U.S. So treasonous fib is more like it.
Whichever one results in RICO charges will suffice to bring them all down.
Nothing to do with him. Just his campaign manager, personal lawyer, and political consultant. So yay, you gotta connect a lot of dots to connect him to any of that, rolls eyes.
Greater than so yay, you gotta connect a lot of dots to connect him to any of that, sigh, you don't actually. RICO is a wonderful thing. Trump's the boss. If Mueller proves everybody working for him is a crook, Trump is automatically up for felonies too. That's 20 years. Per count. I'm praying this ends in RICO indictments. I think that's why everybody is pleading out, before they get nailed with RICO charges.
If the U.S. president, former president in a couple of years, does eventually get convicted of RICO charges and goes to prison, wouldn't that in effect contribute significantly, and ironically, to draining the swamp, whatever that statement actually means?
Yep, Trump promised to drain the swamp. And Mueller is doing it for him, whether Trump wants him to or not.
Mueller, stop draining my swamp. This is my home away from home.
Get out of my swamp, DONKAY.
Man, if Mueller was a Democrat, this analogy would work even better.
Mueller being a Republican gives me a justice boner, just thinking that after McCain's death there's still Republicans with a spine. Lol, McCain didn't have a spine.
Just to be clear, I was reassured by a Trump supporter that process crimes are not crimes, which is why they shouldn't be called crimes. So it's all good.
Greater than, when the president does it, that means that it is not a crime, Nixon.
Everything Hitler did was legal in Germany, MLK Jr.
I hate Mondays.
Abraham Einstein.
Pull over that ass too fat, Benadryl crumbler snatch.
HE's been echoing them since the campaign.
Maybe military intelligence officer is just their unrelated side hustle. Like, how much treason is too much treason? Does he need to be escorting a Russian invasion force through the city before suspicions gets raised or what?
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.